What's up, y'all? It's Loco, and today we're going to be ranking the Hokage from weakest to strongest. Now, this video has been a long time coming, but I'm especially doing it now because maybe about a week ago, I posted a poll, and in the comments of that poll, I asked you guys to make your own list ranking the Hokage from weakest to strongest. And some of them were pretty good, but most of them weren't. But I am coming in here, putting my foot down, and finally making this video that has been requested after so many months, right? But there are going to be a few rules, right? This video is mostly going to be based off power scaling and not a who would win basis, just to make it a little bit more simple, right? So sometimes if you say this character can be this character, so therefore they be that character, that kind of makes people mad. It doesn't always make sense. So we're going to mostly stick to straight power scaling, but there are going to be two instances where I will have to explain why a character is lower on the list, because they definitely wouldn't be able to beat another character despite having better feats. And I'll explain that when the time comes. But for now, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, join the Discord server, link is in the description. And without further ado, let's just get right into the video. So, coming out at the bottom of the list, number 10 is Shikamaru, the latest and not so greatest Hokage, right? You all already know how I feel about Shikamaru, right? I made a whole video about why Shikamaru doesn't deserve to be Hokage. If you need any more reasons as to why I don't like him, go check out that video. But for right now, as far as I'm concerned, he is the weakest Hokage, right? I am aware that he has great, incredible feats, and I will actually be talking about him later in the video. I have him placed higher up, but this is where I think he would go. Remember when I said there would be one or two instances where I would base it off of who would win perspective? This is that one instance, right? Shikamaru will not beat any of the other Hokage. Now, what y'all need to know is that he has absolutely ungodly speed compared to the rest of them, right? He has crazy feats, right? He is able to blitz all 5 Boruto-era Kage with his Shadow Paralysis Jutsu. He is able to snag Kinshiki with it before he can attack Sasuke. He's able to physically react and dodge Delta's kick and also block a swipe from Code. He's fast as fuck for no reason, right? But here's the thing. His AP is shit. And when, I don't think y'all understand that when I mean that, because in the Shikamaru Shinden novels, right, after he snares all the 5 Kage in the Shadow Paralysis that I talked about earlier, he goes out later after being beat up by Naruto, and he's frustrated, so he tries to break a tree with his Shadow Strangle Jutsu. He can't break the tree. He breaks off, I think, a few branches and some bark, but he can't actually cut a fucking tree down with his own jutsu and his own chakra. He actually runs out of stamina and falls to his knees, kind of. He's like out of breath. He can't even break down a tree, and somehow he's Hokage. Like, come on now. Like, there's absolutely no way that anybody else on this list has tree level durability. I promise you, he can outspeed them all he wants, but as soon as he gets them in that fucking Shadow Strangle shit, he is not going to be able to kill them if it was a versus battle. He is going to struggle and run out of chakra exactly like he did on the tree, and they will smack the shit out of him, right? He can be as fast as he wants. He will not beat any of the other characters on this list in a real versus battle. I will be talking about Shikamaru later if we were to take all of his feats into account, but strictly in a versus battle, he would be at the bottom of the list, no debate. Number 9 on the list is Danzo. I know he's not a real Hokage, I'm aware of that, but I just wanted to get everybody in on this list. I didn't want to leave anybody out, right? I'm just gonna go through some of his feats real quick. He should be relative in speed to MS Sasuke at this point, who is pretty much on par with version 1 Raikage at that point. So Danzo is pretty fucking fast. You can't really sleep on him. He doesn't have the best AP feats, like he wasn't even able to break through the Ribcage Susanoo. All he has is a couple wind style jutsus and things of that nature. His Izanagi is pretty fucking cracked. If this was like based off a who would win scenario, he probably would be a little bit higher on this list. But I have no confidence in his scaling at all, so that's why he's number 9. Moving on to number 8, we have Old Man Hiruzen, right? Now, a lot of y'all are gonna get mad because I haven't even mentioned someone like Tsunade yet, right? But honestly, I do think Hiruzen loses to Tsunade. Please don't click off the video. I will be explaining that momentarily. But as far as Hiruzen goes, he doesn't have any feats when he's alive, really. He kind of stalemates Orochimaru, who isn't even at his prime in the story at that point in time. But he does have a few good statements, right? There's obviously that one statement about him being above Hashirama in his prime. We're not talking about his prime right now. And there's also a statement saying that he's like the strongest of the 5 Kage, even in his old, like, man age, you know? But honestly, he doesn't really have any feats to back up either of those statements. Like, he's kind of just ass. He's like barely signing level, you know? So maybe it was the mental nerf, but I don't know. I don't see Hiruzen as being all that strong. In the war arc, he is able to keep up with Tobirama and Hashirama in their pure travel speed, which doesn't necessarily scale to combat speed. He was able to counter the Guru statue in the war arc, even though he's weakened as an Edo. Depending on what you think about how fast the Guru is, if it's like jutsu speed actually scales to the speed of its like wooden hands, he like Guru was able to swat away the Raikage, but he didn't have his lightning cloak on. He was just in base, so the Raikage might not have even been that fast. So really, we have nothing to scale Hiruzen off of. I just don't think he's that strong in general, especially if we're taking his old man alive self into account. His stamina isn't that great as well. That's pretty much all I have to say about him. Moving on to number 7, we have Tsunade, right? I've seen so many people downplay Tsunade. I actually posted a poll about this not too long ago, Hiruzen versus Tsunade. I just wanted to see what you guys would think. It was actually pretty close at first, but there were so many people downplaying her in the comments. I don't want to see none of that. She actually is like, she's not as fast as the Raikage, but she's not getting like fucking perception blitzed by that tier of speed, right? In her fight against Madara, the Raikage is in version 2 and he's being amped by Onoki, but they're still able to set up combo jutsu together. So she's still able to at least perceive and react to this level of speed. She's able to keep up with it. I'm not saying she's version 2 Raikage speed, but it's something to consider, right? Her AP is nothing to scoff at as well. She's fucking insane, right? She was able to break through Madara's Ribcage Susanoo, which was able to tank Odama Rasengan from Naruto at that point in time. So she's not weak at all. I think everybody should know this. Now, moving on to why I think Tsunade would beat Hiruzen. I promise this is the last time that I'm going to be incorporating versus battles into this video, but Tsunade has insane durability. Everybody knows about her healing, but her just straight raw durability might be better than Lord Kakazu's, right? She tanked a Yasuke Magatama beads from Madara straight to the face and got right back up after that. Now, this part is a little contentious. A lot of y'all may not agree with me, but Edo Itachi once used Yasuke beads as well, right? In combination with Naruto and Killer Bee to destroy Edo Nagato's Chibaku Tensei core. Naruto used his Rasen Shuriken and Bee used the Tail Beast Bomb, while Itachi's possibly out here being relative to them in AP with his Yasuke Magatama beads, right? And there's no doubt, I feel like it's not an unreasonable assumption to say that Madara's Yasuke beads are probably stronger than Itachi's, right? So if you think Itachi's are relative to a fucking Rasen Shuriken from KCM1 Naruto or a Tailed Beast Bomb, then Tsunade would have tanked a jutsu of that caliber. She is insane. I doubt anything Hiruzen has would come close to a Tailed Beast Bomb or Rasen Shuriken, right? Also, she was able to deadass just brush off and push away Madara's Majestic Destroyer Flame with her bare forearms, right? So even Hiruzen's fire jutsu or anything else that he has can deadass just be swatted away by Tsunade. There's really nothing Hiruzen can throw at her that she can't just tank, especially with his old man stamina and his weakened durability. All it will take is a few punches and he's as good as gone. Moving on to number 6 on the list, we have Hokage Minato. Now, y'all already know how I feel about this. I bet a lot of y'all are going to get mad at this placement. But after scaling this dude for a while, I know for a fact that he has no actual feats that could put him on even early KCM1 Naruto's level. He only has a few statements from Tsunade and B, right? Also, version 2 Raikage is stated to be not inferior to the Yellow Flash, implying that they are still equals. And the Raikage was kind of piecing up KCM1 Naruto until he got his fucking Resolve Amp and decided to outspeed him, you know? So KCM1 Naruto, version 2 Raikage, and Hokage Minato should all be of similar speed, right? If you need any more explanations, I've talked about Minato several times on my channel. Just go check out one of those videos. In terms of Minato's AP, everyone's seen how he's able to clash with Kurama's Tailed Beast Bomb. Now, it is very, very debatable and very likely that Kurama was weakened at that time. He had 2 seals on him as well as the adamantine chains, and the Bijou Bomb just wasn't all that big. But I'd say the biggest thing that would upscale Minato's AP is a statement from the databooks that claims that Naruto's Rasen Shuriken is rivaling the 4th Hokage's own Rasengan, right? So this isn't the actual like Sage Enhanced Rasengan. This is just the one from the Hidan and Kakuzu arc that Naruto had just created, right? But it's still very fucking impressive that base Minato's Rasengan is able to match a Rasen Shuriken. However, it's not enough to put him any higher on this list, especially when the next Hokage we have on the list, number 5, is our Lord and Savior, Toby Rama. If you need an explanation on why I put Toby Rama above Minato, I already have a video about that on my channel. I suggest all y'all check it out before commenting, right? But Toby Rama has some pretty insane feats, right? Not only is he able to physically react to and tag Jubito multiple times with paper bombs and a Flying Thunder God seal, but he is able to blitz KCM Minato's Flying Thunder God and actually save him from a True Seeker Orb that was about to kill him, EMS Sasuke, and KCM1 Naruto, right? So Toby Rama is pretty fucking fast, but it doesn't stop there. Toby Rama actually fights one Rinnegan Sage Madara and is able to react to one of his attacks and teleport away before he can be hurt, right? Which is actually fucking insane because Sage Madara is stated by Hashirama to be approaching the physical strength of his alive self. And now he has not only the Sage buff on top of that, but Hashirama cells and a Rinnegan, right? So at this point in time, one Rinnegan Sage Madara should be physically stronger and faster than not only his Edo form, but his alive form as well, by however big of a buff you think Sage Mode is, as well as the Hashirama cells and the Rinnegan, right? So, for context, Edo Madara, who have already proven to be weaker than Sage Madara, was able to react to and block an attack from KCM2 Naruto, right? He casually, easily countered that shit, right? He has several other good feats that would upscale him, but this just means that Toby Rama is on this tier of speed. Not only this, but Madara states that Toby Rama was the fastest of their generation, which would include Prime Hashirama and Prime Madara, which is absolutely insane. Toby Rama is one of the fastest characters in the verse that's not Six Paths or Boruto era or anything like that. Along with this, his tandem paper bombs are actually insane, right? The Deity Gates were able to tank a Bijudama from a version 3 Jubi, but they weren't able to tank the explosion from the tandem paper bombs. This would imply that Toby Rama's invention, the tandem paper bombs, are more potent and more powerful than a version 3 Jubi's Bijudama, which is absolutely insane. Toby Rama is absolutely cracked. I remember when I mentioned at the beginning of the video there would be instances where I just have to put characters lower on the list because it doesn't really make sense that they'd be able to beat another character. If I was allowed to by the fan base, I would have put Toby Rama above Hashirama. Why? Because if we were to do it in a versus battle scenario, and if you were to plug a controller up Toby Rama's ass, make him bloodlusted, make him do all the right moves, I believe he would beat Hashirama based off the statement that Madara made and based off his Jubito scaling, right? Of course, the tandem paper bombs as well. Basically, what he would do is he might just blitz Hashirama, slap a tandem paper bomb seal on him, and that's a whole fight, right? Obviously, that probably wouldn't happen within the bounds of the story. You'd have to do like a lot of assumptions and everything like that. But it is still crazy that Toby Rama has arguments to put him above Hashirama. I don't know, man. Number 4 on the list is Hashirama Senju, right? Everybody knows Hashirama is strong. I'm pretty sure everyone thought he'd be this high up on the list. I'm sure a lot of you are kind of mad that he's not even higher than this, but we'll get into that later. I feel like I don't really need to explain Hashirama. If anything, he would scale directly like based off Madara, probably a little bit stronger and faster than him, considering that he was able to beat them almost every encounter that they had, right? So that means that Hashirama would just scale to like a KCM2 Naruto as well, considering the fact that he took one look at him and was like, damn, this kid has almost as much chakra as I do. And at this point in time, Naruto not only had his own chakra, which was massive, but also the half of the Nine Tails as well. Considering the fact that Hashirama can stack Sage Mode on top of this, his chakra reserves would be absolutely insane. Also, his Deity Gates were able to hold down the Jubi, as I mentioned earlier, right? They were also able to tank that Jubi Bijudama. Hashirama is absolutely no joke. His regen abilities are insane as well. Everybody knows how strong Hashirama is. Case closed, end of story. Moving on to number 3 on the list, this is where Shikamaru would go if you absolutely highballed all of his feats. So as I mentioned earlier, Shikamaru has some insane speed feats that are just completely above the likes of any of the aforementioned Kage, right? If you were to say that his shadow paralysis is relative to his own physical strength, then he would be overpowering the likes of Otsutsuki like Kinshiki, possibly Momoshiki, Kawaki, and obviously the Hokage from the Boruto era, right? Shikamaru might just be strong as fuck for absolutely no reason, right? This would obviously contradict the tree narrative that I was talking about earlier, but it is possible that Shikamaru could just use Shadow Strangle to choke out his opponents, and that would be that. He doesn't even really need to crush them or break their bones in any type of way. He hasn't really ever done this outside of, I believe, one time in part 1. But let me know what you think about this Shikamaru scaling, right? Do you think he actually is this strong? Do you think he deserves to be this strong? But I don't know. I just can't get over that tree level AP shit. So for me, he'd still be at the bottom of the list. But for all those that want to highball him, just know that this is where he'd go. He'd go above fucking Hashirama. Moving on to number 2 on the list, we have my boy Kakashi, right? A lot of people are going to get mad that I put Kakashi above Minato and above Hashirama, but I can guarantee 100% he deserves to be here, right? So, Kakashi in the war arc was pretty fucking strong, right? I'd say one of his best speed feats is moving at relative speeds to KCM Minato, even though Kakashi had no speed amp from his Raikiri. It wasn't active at the time. And in this scenario, Minato had no reason to be holding back. He didn't have that dazed mental nerf that everybody talks about. Minato was likely going at full speed here, and Kakashi, in base, was able to move at similar speeds, right? Kakashi should also scale to 6th Gate Guy, who was able to completely outspeed the True Seeker Orbs, which once again is a better feat than Minato has ever had. Minato was only able to mentally react to them without moving, right? So Kakashi should just scale to this based off things that we've seen earlier in the war. He was also able to pull off a similar feat to Minato as well when he was able to Kamui a hole in Madara's True Seeker Orb shield before Jubidara or Guy could even really react. They were kind of moving in slow motion in the anime. In the manga, it's completely instantaneous, like it happens at the snap of a finger. So that means that Kakashi would just be able to perceive all of these characters. He wouldn't be able to get blitzed by them in any type of way. Now, the reason why he is above the likes of Hashirama, Toby, Rama, Minato is because of the Kakashi novels, right? It is stated that as Hokage in the Boruto era, that he has grown leaps and bounds from the days that he has fought Madara and Obito. This would mean that Hokage Kakashi, despite not having the Sharingan or Kamui, is not inferior to his war arc self. On top of this, in the very same paragraph, the nail in the coffin is a statement that says Kakashi has grown orders of magnitude stronger than he was in the war arc. Now, for those of you that don't know, an order of magnitude is a mathematical term used to describe a logarithmic value, right? Logs are like they come in groups of 10, right? And you would multiply a number to get an exponentially higher number. I can't really explain it to you all, but think of it like counting zeros. So basically 10, like the number 10, would be one order of magnitude above 1 because it has an extra 0 behind it, right? So the statement says orders of magnitude, as in plural, implying that Kakashi is at least 2 orders of magnitude above his war arc self, right? So that would mean 10 times 10 equals 100. Kakashi is 100 times stronger than his war arc self. That would mean that he is 100 times faster than KCM fucking Minato as well. Do not sleep on my boy Kakashi. Also, if you want to take the anime into account, Kakashi was able to not only fight off, but dispel and defeat a clone of Kashin Koji. Y'all already know what I think about Kashin Koji. He's very fucking strong, right? Kashin Koji was going to fucking no diff delta and then go fight Jigen afterwards. Kashin Koji in base should scale to 80% of Jubidara. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my Kashin Koji video, please. Y'all need to know about Kashin Koji. Do not sleep on him either. I know it was just a clone, and Kashin Koji's clones don't have the best reputation, right? They kind of get beat up by Jigen a little bit, but that should still be pretty fucking impressive that Kakashi was not only able to dodge an attack from it, swap hands briefly, and then finally hit it with a purple lightning as well, right? Kakashi is very fucking strong. He deserves to be number 2 on this list. He would absolutely speed blitz the fuck out of everybody else on this list, except for maybe Shikamaru. God, I can't believe I just said that. Moving on to number 1, at no surprise to anybody at all, we have Naruto Uzumaki, right? I can't imagine that any of you are angrily typing in the comments at this decision. Like, everybody saw this coming. Like, this is the outcome of every ranking the Hokages list, right? Naruto will always be at the top. There's no arguments against it. If we're not even talking about Baryon mode, he would still be stronger than Kaguya as an adult, right? Just based off the fact that he would, like, scale directly to fuse Momoshiki, right? Also, he was able to beat up Toneri at 19 years old with 1 punch, right? Toneri was also stated to be at least relative to, if not even stronger than Kaguya as well. Everybody saw this coming. What else can I say? I was hoping that this video wouldn't turn out as controversial as it was, but there's just no way I could please anybody with this list. So that is why I'm asking all of you once again to drop your own ranking the Hokage from weakest to strongest down in the comments below, right? I really want to know what you guys think. Be sure to get all of these guys in here. If you want to include Shikamaru twice, be sure to do that as well. Please include Danzo as well. I want to know your thoughts about Danzo. I just want to get some feedback. I want to know if y'all agree with me or disagree. Even if you did disagree, please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. It really helps me out, right? If you like this type of content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We're on our way. If you want to hang out with me and other content creators on a daily basis, join the Discord server. Link is in the description. But other than that, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace.